You have heard of, at least, if not seen, Avengers Endgame, right? One of the standout performances of that movie was from Josh Brolin, who portrayed the Mad Titan Thanos. And up next, we meet the man who helped to bring that character to life. Digital Domain used their technology to create both realistic digital humans and pixel-perfect mythical villains. But it doesn't stop there. To find out where they'll be pushing the boundaries to next, please welcome to the stage Digital Domain's Head of Digital Human Group, Darren Hendler.
Okay, so by a show of hands, how many of you have seen the latest Avengers movie? That's pretty incredible. Well, I work at Digital Domain, which is a visual effects facility that's worked on some of Hollywood's biggest blockbuster films. Films like Avengers Infinity War and Endgame. And today, I'm going to take you behind the scenes and reveal some of the cutting-edge technologies that we use to make movies like this. Because before you know it, these technologies are going to explode out of Hollywood and affect every aspect of your lives. So, as the director of our Digital Human Group, it is my job to trick you into thinking that an artificial, made-up digital human or digital character is really real. So, for example, our team is responsible for building a brand new facial capture technology to capture Josh Brolin's performance down to the smallest, minutest movements and transfer them onto Thanos' face. And here's a little bit about how we go about doing this. Well, first, when we need to build Thanos, we really need to understand Josh Brolin's face. And even though Thanos doesn't look like Josh, we need to impart elements of Josh into Thanos. So we take a whole series of different scans of Josh's face and his body, and we take certain regions like his eyes and his subtle facial proportions, and we put those onto Thanos. Because when we do that, when Josh puppeteers Thanos, it's going to make the performance a lot more believable. Now, when Josh Brolin's on set, he's wearing a motion capture suit. He's got a whole series of different markers, and we track those markers in 3D space. And we can create a moving skeleton for all Josh's motions. And once we've got Josh's 3D skeleton, we can now figure out Thanos' skeleton and reproportion all of Josh's motions onto Thanos. And so in the end, Josh's body motions all driving Thanos' performance. But now we get to the really hard part, the face. And before we can make Thanos' face move, we really have to study Josh Brolin's face. And to do this, we put Josh into a special 4D facial scanner. We scan him doing different dialogue and different ranges of motion, and we build up a whole database of all the ways that Josh's face can move. Now, when Josh is on set, he's got his motion capture suit on, he's capturing his body motion, and he's interacting with all the other cast members. But he's also wearing a helmet capture system, and he's got a whole series of markers on his face. And what we do is we track these markers, and using these markers together with this large database of how Josh's face moves, we can create a realistic, high-resolution facial performance for each and every one of Josh's shots. And that's what we're really trying to do here. We want the system to capture all the subtlety and detail that goes into making a truly amazing performance. Well, now we have a realistic Josh face, but we need to put this on Thanos. So what we did is we built a machine learning system that understands Josh's facial movements and Josh's facial anatomy. And we teach it about Thanos' facial anatomy. And we teach the system how we want to transfer Josh's performance up onto Thanos' face. And in the end, it's almost as if Josh is wearing a digital Thanos mask. Josh Brolin gets transformed into Thanos on the screen in front of you. And you all believed it. Now, this technology is not just for digital creatures. It's for digital humans, too. So, for example, for the movie Benjamin Buttons, we created a digital-aged version of Brad Pitt that you all believed was real. And for Coachella, we created a performance of Tupac. 15 years after he died. And all of this is really, really exciting, but the problem is, creating a realistic Thanos or a realistic Benjamin Button takes a lot of work and is very, very difficult. Bringing Thanos to the screen took teams of people and 2 companies several years to do. And that is why, up until now, you've only seen this type of technology on big Hollywood blockbusters or large commercial projects. But all of this is about to change. So, just over a year ago, our team embarked on to make the most truly realistic digital real-time human we could. And real-time here is key, because with Thanos, it took us over a month from the time we got Josh's performance to the time we could get a realistic Thanos up on the screen there. But what if we could do this instantaneously? What if Josh could put on a motion capture suit and be instantly transformed into a realistic Thanos? And that is where our journey begins. Enter Doug Roble, our head of software and chief guinea pig. Doug, who will famously do anything for science and does not need much persuasion to put on a spandex motion capture suit. And what we wanted to do with Doug is capture all of the data, every piece of it, that goes into making a truly believable, realistic, real-time digital face. And why the face? Well, because that's really the hard part. It doesn't take quite as much effort to create a realistic Thanos, because none of us knows what a real Thanos looks like. But as humans, we're intimately familiar with the details of human faces. And each and every one of you is a highly trained expert in human faces, able to detect instantaneously if a face is real or if a face is fake. So making a digital human can be broken down into 2 steps. Firstly, it's the appearance, what the face looks like, and secondly, the motion and how it moves. To create DigiDoug, we started off at a place called the Institute of Creative Technologies at the University of Southern California. They have a scanner called the LightStage X, which is made up of a dome of a series of different lights and cameras. And they can scan your face down to the pore level detail. We can even see what your face looks like under any lighting condition. Additionally, we can also measure how your blood flow changes under your skin with each and every expression. And when we put all of this together into a real-time rendering engine, we get DigiDoug. He's not real. He's all artificially generated. And the crazy thing about this is, it doesn't take hours to generate every single frame like we used to for feature films, but just milliseconds. And what has changed here is the rise of GPUs and advances in real-time rendering engines, like Unreal Engine, which we're using over here. And these systems together allow us to create images that we didn't think were possible at unbelievable speeds. So here we have a realistic face, but we still need to get this to move. To do this, we started off with a facial capture system we built for Thanos and Avengers. But we wanted to speed this up, from creating weeks to create a performance, to creating performances in milliseconds. So we rebuilt the system from the ground up, using lots and lots of facial data of Doug. We trained a machine learning system to understand all the ways the face moves and how it performs, showing different expressions, the face under different lighting conditions. Just tons and tons of data went into creating the system. And here we have it. This is Doug driving DigiDoug and in real time. Doug puts on a helmet-mounted capture system and is immediately transformed into his digital actor. We're taking a single image from our camera system, and from that one image, we're calculating his expression, his wrinkles, his pore movements, even the blood flow under his skin. And the thing is, different from your iPhone, this system really captures the emotion on the face. You know, all of this has been made possible by machine learning. And I'm sure you've all heard this before, but it is truly revolutionizing everything that we do. You know, computations that took minutes, or even hours to do can now be done instantaneously. And tasks that were previously had to be done by a person can now be fully automated. But we're not done yet. Doug is looking pretty good, but he's still not perfectly photoreal yet. And we've got some nice motion, but there's still elements we're missing. But this is just the beginning, and we've only been at this for about a year. And so, why are we doing all of this? Well, obviously, this new digital real-time technology will be tremendously beneficial for filmmakers. Imagine seeing Josh Brolin's performances live on set as Thanos, as if he was any other actor. Or imagine actors being able to review their performances and adjust or change them. And with this technology, digital characters can exist outside of the movie theater. Because it's instantaneous, characters from movies could show up on live TV, like Good Morning America or Jimmy Kimmel. And Thanos could appear live at Comic-Con, interacting with all these fans and audiences. And we can also bring these characters and digital humans to a wide variety of different media, like AR or VR. Imagine a live performance of your favorite musician in your living room. And all of this isn't just a thing of the future. Already there are teams of people, many much larger than our own, at countries all over the world, working to bring artificial digital humans to you. Let me show you some more examples. This is Miku Hatsune. She's a virtual pop star. She's been around for several years. She's opened for Lady Gaga. She's been on John Letterman. And she has over 100 million views of her songs on YouTube. This is little Michaela. She's an artificial digital influencer. She does not exist, but already has over 1.5 million followers on Instagram. We are starting to see more and more of these artificial digital celebrities, performers, and models, and they're starting to get more and more realistic. And at the moment, it's still easy to tell that they're not real. But soon, that is going to change. And in the future, when you look at a celebrity, you may not be able to tell that they're not real. And these celebrities are going to be unlike those of today. These digital versions are going to be owned and operated like companies. And that's going to change this landscape of all of these influencers. But this technology is much bigger than film and TV. Soon, it will permeate every aspect of your life. For example, imagine not just talking to Siri or Alexa, but being able to see them, being able to read their facial expressions, being able to see if they understood your question, or were confused, or were even listening to your conversation. This technology can be used to bring a human face to these digital assistants that you use every day and make this experience of interacting with them much, much more personal. And all of this is already in progress. At this moment, our team is using our system to generate massive amounts of realistic human facial data to power these next generation of realistic assistants. And in a matter of years, it's very likely that you'll interact with a digital character or human. And this is all really exciting to me. But I'm here on stage today not just to share with you what's possible, but to also talk about some of these ethical consequences that we're starting to see. So far, everything I've shown, all the digital humans and characters, are all three-dimensional, or 3D. They have been created from the ground up, pore by pore. They can be placed in any environment, looked at from any different direction. And although we can generate their performances instantaneously, it still takes a lot of effort to create them. But there's a whole new realm of technology out there called Generative Adversarial Neural Networks, or GANs. And they are able to instantaneously create 2D images of artificial people without having to go through the whole process of building them up in 3D. So let's get back to the fact that each and every one of you is an expert in human faces. Who here can tell which of these faces is computer generated? Well, it is a trick question. because all of them are fake. None of these people have ever existed. They are all completely new synthetic people. And they were all generated on a site called What If the Person Does Not Exist, using research freely available from NVIDIA. They trained a GAN to synthesize new images of people. And it was trained on a large database of real people's images, from images you all shared online. But this technology isn't perfect, and there are still flaws in the image that allow us to spot the fake from the real. It also can't create different views of the same person or change their expressions. But all of this is only just a matter of time. And I'm sure you've all heard of deep fakes out there. Well, here is another example of a related technology, again using GANs.
So Doug and Darren have asked me to stand in front of a camera, which I never do, and talk about something. I have no idea what to talk about. I'm going to talk about fires that are going on, that are super crazy. Like, I drove my motorcycle through the inferno, and it was nuts. I felt the heat on my jacket, and now my helmet smells like campfire.
So this material was all shot on an iPhone. I spoke for 2 minutes, Vicky spoke for 2 minutes, then we trained a GAN to instantaneously and automatically convert Vicky's face into mine, just with her performance and her emotions. And this system didn't need any artist input or anything at all, just the images it's trained on. And it's still not flawless, but here's what is scary. This was one of our first versions, done over a year ago, and the results are getting much better every single day. And so soon, we may be inundated by fake videos on YouTube and elsewhere, and it's going to get harder and harder to tell what is really real. Well, we've also had many discussions about bringing this technology to a wide range of different projects, some of which are getting ethically confusing. And I think it's important for everyone out there to understand the kinds of things that may soon be possible with this technology. For example, imagine politicians being able to create emotive artificial videos of themselves targeted directly to you based on your online profile, with possibly dubious facts in there. Millions of these could be automatically generated, and they would only ever be seen by the person being targeted. And there are many, many other potentially negative examples out there. And unfortunately, there's no really easy solution. There are teams out there at the moment working on new technology to help spot these fakes. But these technologies are developing at a breakneck speed, and there are already so many companies and governments involved in this research. So it's not going to stop anytime soon. There once was a time when we all believed that the camera didn't lie, that what was in an image truly happened. But that all changed with the advent of Photoshop and other digital image manipulation tools. And as a society, we no longer trust photos. When you see a photo online, you know that it may have been manipulated or modified in some way. And just as we stopped trusting photos a long time ago, we're going to need to think twice before trusting our videos. Working on Thanos and DigiDoug has taught me that this technology will enhance the entertainment in our lives, from films to commercials to the digital media that we consume. It will also transform the way we communicate with our devices, bringing a more personal, human touch to everyday technology. But there definitely are negative aspects to this technology and very questionable uses for it. But the way we stop all of this is by becoming more vigilant about trusting the media we consume, and with the knowledge of what is possible out there. Thank you very much.